Norway is tremendously influenced by the sea. The sea affects not only the climate, but the way in which the people live. Water in the form of rushing streams or glaciers has cut deep, narrow valleys between high banks on the coast. The sea flows into these valleys or fjords and reaches inland in places as far as 100 miles. With the land broken by hundreds of fjords, travel by sea is easier than by land. Just outside the fjords are more than 100,000 islands, which provide protection for the fishing vessels which make port in coastal villages and towns like Alesund. Most of the 19,000 people of Alesund earn their livelihood from the sea. During the summer, there may be as much as 24 hours of daylight in much of Norway. The fishermen of Alesund leave home for their boats in the evening, just as the children are ready for bed. Ivar Molnes and his brothers fish the coastal waters in their own well-equipped trawler. The Norwegian coast is one of the world's great fishing grounds. Norwegian fishermen among the world's best and most prosperous. Even as the days grow shorter and the long nights begin to fall with the coming of winter, the men of Alesund search the seas for fish, Norway's greatest natural resource. As the boats come home to port, the catch is unloaded. Cod, herring, haddock, mackerel, sardines. More fish are brought ashore in Norway than in any other European country. Most of the catch is exported. Some fish are shipped fresh or frozen. Others, like cod, are salted and dried. Fishing and life on the sea is a Norwegian tradition. Grandfather Molnes was a whaler, as was his father before him. The children of Alesund will grow in this seafaring tradition, becoming fishermen and merchantmen themselves, traveling to the far corners of the earth. In Norwegian art, literature, music, and thought, the sea is never far. Shipping is fundamental to the Norwegian economy. Shipping services are Norway's chief export and source of income. Her fleet, the third largest in the world. Most of it is engaged in transport between foreign ports only, and in almost any one you will be sure to find Norwegian ships and Norwegian seamen. Norway has always turned to the sea, perhaps because of the nature of the land. Mountains cover nearly all of the country. In the valleys between the mountains are small farms, but less than 3% of the land is good for agriculture, and Norway must import much of her food supply. The land is not rich in natural resources. The people cultivate the little soil they possess. They harvest the forests. They fish the seas. They sail the oceans. They harness water power and build factories to use that power. They live in a society where few are rich and none suffer poverty. There is work for all 3.5 million Norwegians. The people of Norway have learned to make the most of the limited resources of their beautiful but not particularly bountiful land.